Hi, I'm April Rosser. I'm an instruction and reference librarian at Davis Memorial Library. Today, we're going to take care of your library competency requirement. After a short lecture, there will be a test, so stay tuned. Make sure you get the password so that you can continue. Let's get started. We are going to start out on the Davis Memorial Library homepage, which looks just like this. When you come to our homepage, you'll see a variety of links and buttons, but the two that we want to pay very close attention to are click here to schedule a research appointment with a librarian and LibGuides. LibGuides is the best place to start your research, and clicking here to schedule an appointment with a librarian is how you start an individualized research assistance request, which is an appointment with a librarian. Fill this form out and we will be happy to meet with you, whether it is on the phone, via email, on Zoom, and talk about your research and help you get started with that. So if you need help with search terms, with knowing which database to work from, with how to get started and is this researchable, come here to the individualized research assistance request form, put in an appointment, and we would be more than happy to help you with that. Back on our homepage, I mentioned the best place to start your research is LibGuides. We're going to click on that and you will see 91 different guides, all divided up by topic, major, courses, that kind of thing. So whether you're writing about nursing or you're writing about biology, there is a LibGuide for you. Today, we are going to go to the library competency LibGuide. And you'll see here we have a very simple version of the LibGuide with just two tabs, one for books and ebooks, one for journal articles. Normally there's a couple more tabs with more specific information. Today we're going to focus on books and ebooks and journal articles. I mentioned at the beginning that there is a short test at the end of this lecture, and that is true. It's about 10 questions or multiple choice, and they focus mostly on kind of the overarching ideas. So as I go through, don't worry too much about the specifics. You don't need to remember any numbers or anything like that. Focus on the concepts and pay attention and you will do just fine. So let's say we are writing a research paper for a class, and the topic that we want to write about is how does social media affect our mental health? How does social media affect our mental health? And we have two main places where we usually go to do research. We go to books or we go to journal articles. First, I'm going to click on the books and ebooks tab. You might be thinking because you're off campus that there's no need to look through books and ebooks, but we have about 6 times more ebooks than we have books. We have tons and tons of ebooks. They get updated regularly. So it's worth clicking on this link to open up our catalog, which is how you search for all of our books and ebooks. Now you'll notice that the catalog defaults to Boolean keyword searching. We're going to talk about Boolean in just a little bit. It's a logic language that we use to optimize our searching. I'm going to save that for when we get to the database. But for right now, I'll just copy down what we have in our search example, search it, and then I'll add this filter for electronic books. If I only want to look at ebooks, I don't want to look at the books that are here in the library, I'm going to click add filter. And now I'm looking at all of our ebooks that mention vaccines and safety. So if I open one up, just as an example, they all kind of look the same. You get this abstract page. You want to scroll all the way down to where it says click here for online media or click here for ebook. Click to open it. It will take you right to it, and you can look through it from here. You can also search within usually. So if I was looking for a particular kind of vaccine, a particular kind of something in agriculture, food science, that kind of thing, I could search for it here. So all of the ebooks open right up for you. They're all hyperlinked. They're super easy to use. You don't have to check them out or check them in. Ebooks, super great, super handy, highly recommend. Do not forget about the ebooks. Again, I'm going to click on another one, scroll down, click here for ebook. It opens right up for you. Some of them look a little bit different depending on where they are kept. But here again, you have this nice hyperlinked table of contents, so you can go straight to a chapter if you'd like. And again, this awesome search within feature. So you search for a word, and it will show you every single page where that word is mentioned. Super handy, really easy to use. There's also a great cite button right here. So if I click that, it's going to automatically generate my citation. Let me scroll down to APA. There it is. There's my APA citation. So I can copy and paste that right in. Very handy ebooks. That's pretty much all I'm going to say about ebooks, because I want to be able to spend the majority of our time talking about databases, since that's where we do the majority of our research. So again, this is the online catalog. It's where you search for books, ebooks, streaming media, that kind of thing. And it is anything that's not an article, basically. If you're looking for a journal article, that of course, we're going to go to the journal articles tab, and we're going to look in a database. So when you hear your professor say something like scholarly research, academic research, electronic resources, academic journals, journal articles, databases, library resources, all of those phrases mean pretty similar things. What they mean is they want you to use the library resources, which you access from our homepage, which is methodist.edu/library. They want you to use our resources to find journal articles. Journal articles are research reports, research studies that were published in various academic journals according to their disciplines. And then databases publish many copies and many different kinds of those journals. So in a database, you'll find hundreds and hundreds and thousands of different journals and journal articles all together. So today we are going to go into one database. We have about 150 here at Methodist at any given time. Today we're going to go into one called ProQuest Research Library. Because I'm here on campus, you see that the database opened right up for me. If you are off campus and you want to access our library's resources, you log in using your MU username and password. So that's probably what you use to check your email, your Canvas, that sort of thing. And that is because you guys are paying for all of these resources. Databases are not free. Databases are expensive. So we only want our MU students, our community, to be able to use these resources. And they're password protected. So it's your MU username and password. You'll sign on, and then you'll have access. It'll say up here, access provided by Methodist University. Now, what's the difference between coming here and using the library's resources or using our friend Google, right? We're all used to Google. I use it all the time, but not when it comes to academic research. And the reason for that is pretty clear. If I were to put in my search, remember I was talking about how we're going to write a paper about how social media affects mental health. And I put my search in, I get 866 million results. How many of those do you guys read? Maybe 2 or 3, right? I know I usually don't go past the first page when I'm looking at Google. So it's no real use to have 86 million results because there's no way to sift and sort through them. There's no way from looking at them from this view if they are scholarly or biased or news sources or where they really come from and if I can use them for my class. Now over in ProQuest, we know that they are going to be from scholarly sources, and we have lots of tools that we can use to manipulate our results to get what we need quickly. So let's go back to that research question that I mentioned before. How does social media affect mental health? Normally, that's how we would type it out, especially if we were Googling. But when we're using Boolean keyword searching, we need to do a 3-step process. So 3 steps. Step 1, we need to eliminate everything that is not a keyword. You only want key words. So how does and effect are gone. You would get rid of more, less, during, any of those sorts of filler words. You want to get rid of them. That's step 1. Step 2, we need to connect the 2 phrases back together. We use the word and more often than not to do that. You're going to use the word and. And means both, and means together. So if you're using the word and, you are telling the database that all of the articles you bring me must include social media and mental health. They must. And means both. Another option for a Boolean operator is or. So let me show you an example of how we would use the word or. Okay. If I were to put or in Facebook or Instagram or TikTok and mental health, now I'm telling the database, you can choose any one of these, either or. You can show me Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, one of the 3, 2 of the 3, all 3 of the 3 if you want to, but any one of them, either or. Think of or as the expression either or. Or gives you more or expands your search. So you might get articles about Facebook and mental health. You might get articles about TikTok and mental health, right? But it's going to choose. So or expands, or gives you more. There's one last Boolean connector. I'm going to go back to social media. Social media and mental health. Social media, not Twitter, and mental health. Now it's going to show me all the articles that mention any social media, the word social media, and mental health, but it's going to exclude anything with the word Twitter in it. So again, the majority of the time, you're going to take your 2 phrases, whether it is digital technology and millennials, or lung cancer and new treatments, that kind of thing. Normally, when you're doing research, you're trying to search the connection between 2 different concepts. So social media and mental health, or depression, or anxiety. Okay. Now, and means together, or means either or. The 3rd step, after we have our keywords and after we have connected them with and, or not, is punctuation. By that, I mean quotation marks. Anytime you have more than one word, so if you have a key phrase, you have World War II, you have North Carolina, you have college athletes. Anytime you have more than one word, you use quotation marks to search them together. Now, under the search bar, you'll see these 2 boxes. One says peer reviewed. You can go ahead and click peer reviewed if your professor has indicated that your research needs to be peer reviewed, okay? That is a special designation for research. It's the gold standard for academic research. Not all good research is peer reviewed. There is plenty of scholarly research that is not peer reviewed. But if your instructor, your professor has told you that you need peer reviewed research, by all means click it. However, I advise students to never click the full text box. I'm going to show you why when we go to the next page, but just keep in mind, we want to avoid searching only for full text. So I'm going to go ahead and search our Boolean keyword search here in ProQuest Research Library, and we'll see what we get. Okay, perfect. So right away, something that ProQuest has over Google, like I mentioned, is that over here, you can begin sifting through your resources, right? You can limit it by where it was published, the language, the subject, but probably the most common one is right here, publication date. Oftentimes, instructors will tell you your research needs to be from the last 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. And you can adjust the little sliding scale or enter a date range and get all of your research to fall within a certain range. So now all of my research is from the last 3 or 4 years, and I can just go forward from there. I don't have to waste time opening things up, wondering if it'll work, skipping it, going back, like that. Now, like I mentioned about full text, here's why. We are searching in one database right now. It's called ProQuest Research Library. ProQuest Research Library, okay? Here at MU, we have access to, usually it's about 150. It changes occasionally when we add programs, but about 150. So you're searching in one of those databases. However, our system, which is designated by this green dot called 360 link, you can see the 360 in the green dot, 360 link to full text, will check the other databases to see if the article is there. So what do I mean by that? Okay, this article, COVID-19 in Ghana, Changes and the Way Forward. It's got a green dot. That tells me that all we're gonna have, I'm gonna click to open it, all that we have is the abstract. We do not have the article here in ProQuest Research Library. However, when I click the green dot, 360 link to full text, it's going to check the rest of our databases to see if we have this article in another one of our 149 or so databases. So I click it. If we have it, it will open right up for us in a new tab. So in this case, we do. We have this article called COVID-19 in Ghana. It is in another database called Soc Index, and it opens right up for us. We have access to the full article. We can click the PDF, open it up, and do our research. Now, if we had clicked, you can see it's all here. If we had clicked full text only, none of these results with the green dot, so there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. So we're already up to 5, 6, just on the first page of results. None of the results with green dots would have shown up for us. So we want to avoid that when we can. The other thing is this. When we click a green dot and we do not have an article, so we clicked the green dot for this article called Deconstructing the Rise in Mental Health Related ED Visits. When I clicked on that, we do not have this article in another one of our databases. However, we also have the option for you to order it through interlibrary loan. You'd click this button, go ahead and fill out the form, and we will get it for you. Now, what do we mean by interlibrary loan? What we mean by that is that we do not have access to this article here at MU, but there might be another college or university that has access to it, and we will borrow it and give you a PDF of it for free. You don't have to worry about returning it or keeping track of it. We will send you a PDF. So we don't have this article, but if Chapel Hill has it, if the University of Maryland has it, if Campbell University has it, anyone anywhere has it, we can find a copy and get it for you for free. So that is why I tell students never to click on full text, because you actually have 2 more opportunities to get any article than just searching in the database. You have 360 link to full text, which will show you if we have it in another database or if we can order it via interlibrary loan. Now, hopefully the majority of the time you will open up an article and we will actually have it right here and you will be able to use it. So for example, let me grab one. We'll open up an article. It looks like this. You have the abstract right here. Do not work from the abstract, okay? Oftentimes you'll also have the PDF, or excuse me, the full text right here. So someone has retyped the article and you just have the full text in front of you. Always look for the PDF. You want the PDF. It's frequently a tab right here, but sometimes it's over here on this button that says get full text. So in this case, we click get full text, the PDF opens up for us, and we can use this for our research. Now, the other reason you want to click on the PDF is because if there are any charts, graphs, images, any sort of visual, they will not show up in this HTML version that appears when you first open the article. HTML, no visuals. PDF, visuals. So if you want photos, charts, graphs, images, things like that, which of course you always do when you're doing research, make sure that you open the PDF. I try to remember that P is for picture. So I open up the PDF so that I can look at the full article. P is also for page number, which you can only find in the PDF up in the corners of the pages. What do we need page numbers for? Citations, of course. When you're going through and doing your scholarly research, you won't find any page numbers here in the HTML version, but you can find them on the PDF. And speaking of citations, here's our handy cite button. I click it, it automatically generates. I can copy and paste it in. You can switch to another style guide in this drop-down menu if you need to, but it's super handy. These citations are great. I very rarely have a problem with them. Just double check them, of course, to make sure that they fit your style guide, and then copy it into your bibliography. Make sure that that indent goes with you. Once you are finished with this article, you'll go back to your results, pick a new one. This one automatically opens to the PDF as well, so that works out. And like I said before, any charts, graphs, photos, they are only going to show up in this PDF. Use what you need. There's your page numbers, and there is your cite button. And back to results to search again. Now, if you're doing a search and you just can't find anything, it's not working out for you, I suggest going backwards. So first, take a look at your search terms. Maybe you need to switch something up. Maybe you're using a term that's not commonly used. Maybe you need to be more specific. If I switch mental health to social media and depression, I get completely different results. So it's entirely dependent on what you are, what you're searching. Option 2 would be to go back to your LibGuide and look at your other journal article, look at your other database options. Now, this particular LibGuide, because it's just for library competency, only has one. But most LibGuides that you click into are going to have multiple databases to choose from. So this is the biology database. You can see there's at least a dozen databases. So if I didn't find anything in the first one, I would go on to another one. Step 3 is to actually go back and choose another LibGuide. So maybe your research is, maybe you're in an English class, but you're doing your paper on social media and mental health. Perhaps the English guide is not the best place to go. You might want to scroll down and check out the psychology LibGuide. That's going to have completely different resources again, because the databases match the discipline. Now, we are always here to help you at Davis Memorial Library, whether you put in a request or you can contact us, you can give us a call, you can reach out. We are happy to help you with your research. The only thing that we can't help with is spelling, grammar, punctuation. That, of course, is going to be the Writing Center. So if you have questions about spelling, grammar, punctuation, that's the Writing Center. They are also located in the library and online at the MU Writing Center, and they can help you out. All right, it's time to take the library competency test so we can get this taken care of. You need a password to continue the rest of the way into the test. So the password for the test, I'm going to type it right here in the search bar, is Boolean. All caps, BOOLEAN, Boolean. Good luck on your test, and we will see you at the library.